Sup, dogs? We're back in the game. Our little Jody is right now in France, Tommy in Amsterdam. That could only mean two things. If this podcast is messed up, so we're talking audio quality, we're talking lag and anything of that, we need to blame the French government and all that for it because their infrastructure is terrible, the Wi-Fi is terrible, but we are doing our best.
The coffee's terrible as well, mate. I can tell you that.
You drove down to Font Romeu, right?
Font Romeu, mate. I didn't even get a coffee at a service station. I was too worried, mate. I posted it up. I don't know. Did you see the picture of that like service station I posted up where there's like all these different beans and you could pick your one? Did you see that?
I think that was literally the machine that I was talking about because
I thought that I was going to say,
yeah.
Was that the same one that you were talking about? Because you told me
originally when you see it, you're thinking, "Wow, different beans. Am I going for Colombia? Am I going for Brazil, South Africa? They don't even have beans, but you can pick it anyway." It looks like a fancy machine, and then dreadful piss water.
I knew it was going to be, and I remembered you saying it was terrible and it looked good, and I thought this must be the same kind of thing what Tom was on about. And that was why I didn't bother going for it, because I remembered you saying it and I thought it's going to taste like shit. I'm just going to be disappointed and probably spend €5 on a crap coffee that I'm
it
going to
was
throw away.
€3.
Yeah, so I was like, I just canned it in the end. Just went with the water, mate. It was a better coffee. It tasted like a better coffee than the machine.
How did the travel go then? You must have had some lows.
A very, very long day, mate. I got a call. So originally I was going to be driving myself, which is like, I think it's like 960, 980 miles, something like that. So basically 1,600 Ks in one go. And then I got a call at 8:30 the night before from my mum saying, "Oh, Joe, your dad's going to come with you now. Your dad's going to come with you. Pick him up. What time were you thinking of leaving?" I said, 4 a.m. She said, "Oh, well, get round ours just before 4 and you can pick him up and he'll come with you." I'm thinking, bloody hell. So I'm thinking, great, I've got my dad to come. Bad side is, we haven't actually got enough beds at the house we're staying in. So we've got to sort that out. That is to be confirmed. But no, actually, I've since had someone cancel who was going to come, and we do have enough.
Who's that?
He's Sebastian. He's a friend, and
Sebastian, the champagne mademoiselle from Los Angeles.
yeah, the wine connoisseur, mate.
Why didn't he come out to Font Romeu? What was his excuse? He gained. I wouldn't say he gained fitness.
Booked his flights and everything, and he reckons that he had a building inspector come round the house who's critiqued some of the stuff that they haven't done right, and he's got to get an architect and a builder to sort it out, and he needs to get his house sorted for his family because the place where he's staying at the moment is getting renovated, or he's got to move out at the end of the month. So if he doesn't sort that out, he won't have a place to live.
Wow. So, all right, fair enough. That is the struggle of the age grouper. You sometimes tend to forget that when you get caught up in training, Joe.
He's a lifestyle athlete, mate. No one drinks more champagne than him. Yeah. He flies high. He lives a typical LA lifestyle. I said to him, we're doing a beer mile. He said to me, you need to do a champagne mile. I thought, tell me you're from LA without telling me you're from LA. Nowhere
no
else
one
in the world
wants to do a champagne mile. Like, no one. Anyway, so your dad has got a bed in the end.
He will have a bed, yeah. He will have a bed, yeah. It's all sorted. It was going to be him and Phil sharing. One of them was going to have to like go on a like this camp bed thing. Or actually, I came up with the idea because John's got a converted Ford Transit, so potentially one of them could have stayed in there for a few days in the back on the bed in there. So we did have some backup options. It would have been, I think it would have been okay, but that was the start of the journey out here. That was the call I got on the night before. So. Set off 3:45. Got to his about 4:15, so I'm like 15 minutes behind what was going to be a tight schedule anyway. So I had to put my foot down a bit, because we'd booked a 7:10 ferry and we didn't book it on the flexi. So I'm thinking, shit, I need to get to Dover, which is like 180 miles away, 190 miles. I've got 2 hours, basically 20 minutes to do it, and then got there in the end just in time. But we got there in a shitload of traffic. So our ferry, we would have got the ferry, but checking it to get to the passport desk took 50 minutes at that time in the morning. So I ended up getting put on an 8:30 ferry, which was a bit annoying because when you've got that drive, you don't really want to be waiting an hour.
Mate, that's the shit thing about England, isn't it? Always ferries and that kind of stuff.
That is the shit thing. That's what you don't realise how good you've got it, mate. You can leave your house, you're straight on the motorway. I've got to get off this bloody island, mate. I've got to get off the rock.
And also, every time you need to pay like 300 quid, and then another time
No,
300. No,
£80, mate. £80 this time.
£80.
£80 for the ferry, mate.
And then you leave your car in England.
No, put the car on the ferry, don't you?
All right, £80. Well, that's all right.
You wouldn't mind that, would you?
That's all right.
And it's £40 each if there's two of you in the car. Could have four of you, it'd still be the same price. It's bargain, mate. So anyway, got over to Calais. I had to do the first bit of the drive because my dad hates driving through Paris. He just doesn't.
He likes the long roads, right? Give him a 1,600-mile road with no trees, just tarmac and nothing in sight.
You know what bit he did when we took over? After about 30 minutes, it said, we took a turn on a junction, it said, stay on this road for 250 miles. He's rubbing his hands. Oh, not a corner for 250 miles. No slip roads. I can't mess up. I'll just plough along. I was so tired. I ended up falling asleep for like 3 or 4 hours. I was literally gone, mate. But yeah, we got through Paris anyway, and then we swapped over, and he did that bit, and then I took over for the last bit. Had a bit of fun on the last.
What I'm wondering is, so in the house where you're staying at, we stayed at that house last year, and if I'm not mistaken, you've got about 2 bedrooms downstairs, 2 bedrooms on the first floor, and then you've got 1 bedroom with 2 beds in like the top floor. And last year, because your dad is like a bear, isn't he? He snores a bit. And you can feel the foundation shaking of the house when he's in his REM sleep. REM. But who is sharing the room with him? Because that guy's he's going to be fucked.
At the moment, it's powerful pensioner, but you've got to think on the plus side. Powerful pensioner, 67. His hearing might not be what it was 20 years ago, so he might not even notice the snoring, but that's only he's old.
When you get older, you only the only thing you can't hear is like really high pitch tones. But your dad has got like really like a bass.
Sometimes when you talk to powerful pensioner, he can't hear you. So like his hearing, even when it's not high pitched, is not the best.
Fair enough.
So I think he'll be all right. But I would say as well. Like I mean, what was I going to say? I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now. Carry on. I did have something, but it's gone. I think I'm getting old, mate. Oh well, I know what I was going to say. What cost me my race? I know what you mean about sharing a room with him. It fucks you. Like I shared a room with him at the ITU World Long Distance Champs in Ibiza, and I think that fucked my race because like I was waking up in the night and he fucking snores like a train. I had to tell him originally. I said to him, "You can stay in the room for one night," so I booked it. I said, "If you snore and you wake me up, you can get somewhere else." So he was like, all right. So we stayed the first night. It wasn't that bad. Like it was actually all right. I think I slept all right that first night. I must have just got lucky, pure fluke. Next night he's like snoring. And I'm like, flipping out, you snore, you need to like you need to like get another room or something or sleep on the balcony. He said he would sleep on the balcony. And he just like wouldn't sleep there, he wouldn't move to another place. So I ended up like literally waking up listening to his snore and I'm thinking, oh my god, like why do I have to share a room with a train? Like, you know. And yeah, I think that was what cost me. I was gone. I was annihilated before I got to the start line.
I've shared a room with your dad at Sub 7 and that was after the after party, so I thought like, all right, I'll just get some drinks in and I probably won't even notice anything.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, mate, he snores through a 20-pint boozer. It's unbelievable. But I've got a low. I've got a massive low. When I came, I was in France, wasn't I? Testing the coffee and all that, doing some field work. So when I came back to my place in Amsterdam, so that's not the caravan, everyone. I live in Amsterdam. I came back and I was sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden I heard this squeaky noise. It's wink, wink. I was like, "What the hell's that?" So I was starting to freak out. I was like, was that a rat or a mouse? So I live in like this big old building, this school building that's been totally renovated into like apartments. And I was thinking it's all concrete, right? It's not really a mouse kind of place. And also my place was like, there was literally not even a breadcrumb somewhere. So I was thinking probably I misheard it. In the middle of the night, all of a sudden, full blasting music through my living room. I was like, are there any ghosts? Like full blasting music. 2 nights after that.
Did you shit yourself? Did you shit yourself when you heard that?
I completely shit myself because it was like full power. And I've got this Sonos sound system, like a whole surround sound. It was like a discotheque, mate. And then the next 2 days after that, it happened again. And then in the morning, I was looking on the ground and I saw these little browny things. And I thought, that is mouse poo. There's a mouse in my house. But it was not a lot. It was just a few of them. So I thought, there's one. And I know he came here last week when I was away, because I've never seen this before. Later that week, twice again, the music started playing in the middle of the night. And then I knew what was happening. The flipping mouse would run over my soundbar from Sonos, then press the play button with one of their feet so the music would start playing. And I knew I had them, so then I cleaned my whole place like 3 times last week, and there was no food, and then I've put like some anti-mouse stuff. I think they're gone now, because I've caught 2. I think it was them bad boys. But can you imagine? Shit in the beds.
Fucking hell, mate. You need to borrow Volker's cats, mate. He's got enough of them. Like, I'm sure he'll lend you one. Like, just contact him. Or get a little Yorkshire Terrier. That would do you. You could have him as a training partner as well. Apparently, they're great at catching mice and rats and stuff.
Really?
A little mini Yorkshire Terrier. Yeah, apparently farmers used to use them as ratters because they'd go down and catch them. That's why they're, like, small. And that would go for runs with you. You would get one, mate. Like, he'd fucking sort you right out.
Do you reckon a dog like that could run?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, look at Maisie and Ted. They don't look like runners, but they can run as quick as Mo Farah, mate, and they can sprint as fast as Usain Bolt. Like, 4 legs, mate. 4-wheel drive is always better than 2-wheel drive.
Would they have a higher VO2 max than Thomas Steger?
Ooh, depends. Are we talking clean Thomas Steger, or are we talking fully pumped up Thomas Steger? Like, it depends what one. Like, I don't know. That's pushing it. There's levels to this game, mate. It's not a greyhound. It's a Lazapoo.
But it is true that dogs have got like a VO2 max of 200 or something, 250. What is it?
Or very high. But all I can tell you about him is he has won a park run. Remember, he's run 16 minutes for a 5k on a wet day in Norwich. We're not talking like a nice sunny day on the track. We're talking cross-country style. And he could have had more because he did some more efforts afterwards. He's quicker than what he looks, mate. Don't let the fur coat, the woolly coat, fool you.
I'll have a little look into one of these dogs.
You know what they call them, don't you, mate? You know what they call them?
No.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. They don't look like much, but they're fast.
Alrighty. Shall we get talking about your training camp and my training? Give the people little insights in what the absolute top professionals are doing.
Well, I only went for my second run, mate, from Lake Placid today. I went for a bike ride today, and you trolled me, didn't you? And said, "What were you on, a mountain bike or something?" So
yeah,
my training's getting trolled. I saw that it was as slow as that until I saved it, and I was like, "Fuck, that's pretty pathetic, to be honest." But like,
that power meter mustn't be right, because I saw something like 270 watts, and normally when I
207, 207.
That's still crazy low, because normally when I ride with you, if you ride under 250 watts, you're saying like, that's detraining. I'm detraining now.
I felt all right, mate, but I just haven't done much. Like, I think like, the holiday and like the lack of training since Lake Placid's all kicking in. But and also like a lot of the descending, you just don't pedal, do you? So it just kills your average power, doesn't it? So you're riding up the climbs probably like, I mean, we're probably riding up the climbs 250 watts, but then on the descents, you're like, pretty much like, I mean, you're kicking out the corners and stuff and like doing a little bit, but you're right 100 watts, aren't you? Probably average on a descent, something like that, if that. So it just kills your average. But it's going pretty well. I did a threshold swim set today and did it with a quality swimmer. It's actually, I met him face to face. You know him, it's Tom from my windsock. Like, you've spoke to him, haven't you? Have you spoke to him as well?
I haven't spoken, no.
Or not? No, all right, I thought you'd spoke to him, but I actually met him. And he basically did an easy swim in the pool. So his easy swim was basically pacing my threshold swim and he was swimming with a pool boy, and I was doing a threshold 2100 meter set behind, like leaving 5 seconds. He was like literally not.
What times were you hitting? We want to hear the juice.
Oh, mate, I'm not a 54-minute Ironman swimmer. You're going to put me to shame. Like, I'm lucky if I can swim with Lionel Sanders.
50. You are a
A
53 40-minute Ironman swimmer in Lake
That wasn't
Placid.
53:40, mate. It was 53:0. It was 53:0, wasn't it?
Was it 53?
Surely it
I don't
weren't
think
50.
so.
Oh, come on. It must have been more under that. Let me have a quick look. Have a quick look at this.
I'll have a little look, but you talk about your set. Go on through the data. What set you were doing? Long course, short course.
So it was long course meters, mate. Bearing in mind, after Lake Placid, I did a few swims, and they were about 2K, something like that, just to keep.
Oh,
in.
I got the data. 53:47. Could have been right in your
God.
feet.
Oh my god! I'm nearly a 54. I'm nearly a 54-minute Ironman swimmer.
But this must have been non-wetsuit.
Yeah, it was. So listen here, Tom. If you want to get to 53:47, if you want to take your swim up 30 seconds, this is what you need to do, mate.
All right.
I did a few 2K swim sets after Lake Placid because you don't want to put yourself in a hole, do you? You know, you're easy. And then yesterday I did 3K. And I knew it was going to be a grind because of the travel the day before. It was literally like leaving at 3:45 in the morning, getting in at 9:30, and then we did a ride, and then finished it off with a swim. But I actually wasn't swimming too bad considering. And then today, swam with Tom. Didn't really know what I was letting myself in for. We go, what's the warm up? He go, 3:600. I thought, fucking hell, for a warm up. He go, oh, it's good. You get nearly 2K in like half an hour. You don't even have to think about it. I said, bloody hell, going to get me fit then, I guess. So I did that.
You did the 3x600, of course, without pedals, fins, and pull buoy, because that's what you normally put on, right?
I might have used some stuff for it. So the first 600, totally normal. Second 600, just fins. Third 600 wasn't really a 600. It was 400 with fins. And then I did 450s, descending, getting a bit quicker each one. Like, starting off at like 39 seconds, getting down to like 35, something like that.
All right.
Laying in.
Yeah.
And then the main set, I wanted to hit 120, 121. So I've been hitting 114s, 115s for 2100s if it was at sea level in a 25 metre pool. So I thought I'm probably going to be 6 seconds slower, really. So 120, 121. And then I'll go off 135. Bearing in mind, 1900 metres above sea level, 50 metre pool. You know what it's like, Tom, when you first get it, you're breathing for a straw, aren't you? It's fucking horrific in that pool.
Yeah, that's right.
Ended up averaging between 116 and 119. I think I had one that was 119.
Were you on his feet, or were you like...
No, I gave 5-6 seconds, and sometimes it was 10 seconds because he went 5 seconds early, and I kept it at 135. So I'm like, I'm not going that early. But I was like, I would end decent. Up like catching up a bit with him. But I was giving it at least 5 seconds, and then sometimes if he went early, it would be a little bit more than 5 seconds. But it wasn't on the feet, But I think that probably averages out. If I averaged it out, it would have been 117 something probably. And I think if I averaged, if he wasn't there, it would have definitely been 120. Like, I reckon, because on some of them when I gave him over 10 seconds, I was still hitting a 118. So
I almost did a similar set yesterday.
Did you? I did 100 at the end, right? With Pat. Before we go into that, I did 100 at the end, 90% effort, paddles and fins. What do you reckon? 90%. So it was hard, but I could have like gone quicker, like a bit quicker. I'll do 100% one later this week after a hard set. What do you reckon?
111.
God, fucking give me some credit. Give me paddles and fins. It weren't like we're nothing. Like 111.
56?
No, not quite that quick. 62.
62. All right.
I reckon I could break 60. Do the listeners think I've got it in me, and I will get this on an Instagram video? They only let you post 60 seconds, don't they? So
yeah.
If I don't do it in under 60 seconds, the video will get cut, so you'll know that I didn't make it because there won't be the ending. But do the listeners think I've got what it takes to break 60 seconds, paddles and fins, long course at altitude? Has this 53-minute swimmer got that in his locker room? Let me know. What do you reckon, Tom? Have I got it?
I think you could. Yeah. I think you can do it. But how are the upcoming times gonna look then? So you're now at altitude. It's the 2nd of August. So Nice will be the weekend of the 12th of September. How long are you at altitude now for? And what's the plan? When will you be we be seeing you in the K-hole?
you'll probably be seeing me in the K-hole somewhere between the next 7 to 14 days, and then I'm going to stay in there for another 7 to 14 days until I leave on the 28th of August. And then plan is that leaving on the 28th of August, head to Nice, then train around Nice and on the course until basically race day.
So you're going away from now, the 1st of August, till like the 12th, so the 15th of September. It's basically 1.5 months.
Yeah.
Do you, how's it with like the missus and Arabelle? Do you find it hard to go away from home? I mean, yeah,
I think Laura's hoping to come out here on the 21st of August.
all right.
Something like that. And then we're going to go to Nice together. So she's looking into booking flights on the 21st. So I'm going to do 3 weeks out here. Then she's going to come for the last week. And then we'll drive down to Nice together. And like I'll train out there and she'll stay in Nice until the race. And then obviously go on a bit of a holiday on the way back. Like I'll have my car then. So we can take our time getting back and like go to a few nice places on the way and spend like the week. Gradually get back over the course of a week. Similar to what we did on the road trip, but a bit more spread out and a bit more laid back. And then, just see how that goes and decide what race to do after that, if any races.
Do you miss Arabelle? She'll have teeth and go to school when you see her again.
Well, I wouldn't say you like missing them too much after like the first few days, because it's only been a few days. But like if you were out here for the whole 6 weeks, I mean, of course you would. Like that would be absolutely ages. Like
I've already with the gal I'm seeing, mate. If I can already feel it after a couple of days. Like it is a drug that you that I feel I miss it. You know, like I miss her.
Really?
So you can feel it after a couple of days. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I mean, like after after a couple of weeks I would, but like I'm not. I don't think like after a couple of days, you know, like I'm like that bad. Yeah, maybe that's just you.
Yeah, maybe it's me. I don't know.
You're gonna get me in trouble saying this, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
I mean, if I was away for 6 weeks, then I mean that would be.
No, I mean, that's really it's hard, isn't it? That's the it's hard as a I mean, I'm not on your level, but as a top professional athlete, you can see that at pro cyclists and all that. Like this is your career, and you need to do this in order to perform at the World Championships, and you need to make sacrifices, and that's. There goes a lot into it, and of course you want to be with your baby and all that all every day, but you need to make sacrifice in order to be.
It was definitely tough coming out here for a month and sorting it out, you know, with Laura, because obviously when they're that age, someone's got to be with the baby the whole time, haven't they? And it's hard for her when I'm gone, because she can't. It's not like she can put Arabella down and do her own thing. You know, she's got to be with her the whole time. And I know in the evening she does find it hard, because you're by yourself, you're looking after a baby the whole time. I mean, sometimes obviously she sees her friends and stuff, but like you've got to kind of keep the baby like with you, that you know, and look after him and stuff like that. And it's not like you can, you know, before we had the baby where she could go out, you know, and you only have to look after yourself. And I know it is definitely really hard. And I did have to speak to her, and I did say to her like a long while in advance, like if I want to do really well in Nice and give it my best shot, I definitely need to go to Font Romeu for the month to do the altitude training. And it was a tall order, and like obviously, like, you know, you both need to kind of be behind it, because if she wasn't behind it and she wasn't able to like, or wasn't willing to like look after the baby, you know, like, which is only like 16 weeks at the moment, by herself, then I definitely wouldn't have been able to go, and you wouldn't have been able to prepare for it. And it's tough on both of you, because then she's got to try and travel out here as well, you know, to get to Font Romeu, which is going to be tough on the 21st as well. Like and it's just like a team effort and stuff like that, and you couldn't do it by yourself, and it was hard trying to sort it out, and you know, getting her to kind of like a bit behind it, you know, because she's thinking obviously, bloody hell, like
of course, because in the end you're in it together, and it's just hard choices, which you need to sacrifice a lot in order to be one of the best. Yeah, no, it is. It is definitely pretty tough like that. I'm like more on her than it is me, because obviously I'm just out here training. Whereas she's at home in the end, baby. All up to you to make it worthwhile in Font Romeu.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely a lot easier training out here without a baby than doing it back home, like with the baby and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So, like, I haven't really got any excuses as well. I've got, like, the best chance to get some good training over the 4 weeks and do the best I can.
Well spoken. Well spoken. Are you gonna be meeting up with any of the big dogs, but not as big as you and me, of course? But I'm talking Christian Blumenfeld and who else is there? Who else is there?
So, I think, like, I know Vincent Louis and the guys are there because I've seen them in the pool. Like, he was absolutely flying. Like, when I saw him in the pool yesterday, like, it was quite nice to watch it because it looked so smooth and so fast. Yeah, like, I think he was, like, hitting like 66s or something, 67s, like, for hundreds, and it just looked easy.
It's
Like,
always
but
nice
so
looking other people swim, isn't it?
yeah, but so powerful as well. In the water,
Is that
like
a little man crush? So
no, but
powerful. You're so powerful. Look at him.
it did look powerful. Like, it did look powerful, mate. Honestly, like, and like considering how much time he was putting into the
Did,
other guys in his
did you
group,
think it was
it was.
intimidating?
No, it was more like more like watching a master at work. Like,
Right.
it's like you might be, it's like you're a chef and you're really good compared to your mates, and then you go to a restaurant and a Michelin star chef says, "Come back here and I'll show you give you a few tips," and you're like, "Ah, I thought I was good, but there's levels to this game."
Yeah, there's always levels in the game.
Like,
Mate, coming from a 54, I'm not even,
he's got to be in at least
but
51-minute
it's
Ironman shape, I reckon.
definitely,
Like,
definitely. But coming
like
from, you always need to put everything into perspective, right? So when I started out doing triathlon, my first ever Ironman, I swam something like a 111. And the couple of years of that after that was always like 105, 108, 109. And then I think during the Kona recce swim, I swam 59. I was like, oh my God, I'm a sub 1 hour swimmer. Race day 103.
To be
But
fair, that was really good because you didn't used to swim at all back then. It was like once a week,
two
wasn't it,
times
or
a week,
twice a
like
week. Yeah.
1,500 meters in a 20-meter pool.
In a 20-meter pool, is that what you swam
Yeah.
in?
But
Fucking hell.
still, I must say it's a hit or a miss for me in the pool or in the water, because I mean I know that I can hit some decent times in the pool, but I have messed it up in quite some races in open water. I'm talking Girona 140 point something, that full distance that I thought I was swimming with Cam Worth, who was always almost in the front pack, end up with an old guy with a beard in 1 hour and 2 group. It's always misperception. But then Almer was surprisingly 54. Where you might be thinking, was it a downstream swim? Was it short? No, because what's that guy called? That Olympian? He swam 46, 47?
Lucas
46.
Voigt.
Yeah, Lucas White, that guy.
Didn't he swim like 43 or 44 at that one? I think he swam like 43 or 44, mate.
I don't think so. But I'll have a little look later on. No, maybe 51. But but Ironman Canada is probably gonna be, well, I think it's gonna be a non-wetsuit swim, because a lot of age groupers were like,
100%, mate. That is 100% a non-wetsuit swim, that one.
because
Like,
a lot of age groupers were like, oh, over the last 5 years it was always a wetsuit swim. Yes, but for pros, isn't it something like 20 degrees or 21 degrees?
21.9 Celsius.
I remember when we were in Texas, and it was just a point zero over the limit, and they said non-wetsuit at 6 in the morning, and it was freezing, absolutely freezing.
I find it all right swimming in there with non-wetsuit. Like when it's near the cut-off, I think it's going to be a lot
But
bigger.
it's way slower with non-wetsuit. You were a 54 non-wetsuit swimmer in an Ironman.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty impressive.
that
Really,
scars me. That scars me, mate.
well, imagine what I could do with a wetsuit, mate. I'd be at least 51.
Yeah, you'd be
Like,
around 51, 52.
51 or 52?
Yes. So, do you want anything else to say about the training in Fund Romeu?
Basically, you know what it's like, Tom, out here. There's no such thing as an easy run, is there? Like, I went on a run today, and unless you're at the lake, you can get some easy runs. But what is it like for running from this house? Like, it is literally either up or down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and did a run today, 9.5 Ks, 5 minute K pace average. But but 240 meters of climbing in 9.5 kilometers. But I think the running out here gets you so fit though, because it's basically like you're working hard quite a lot on some of your easier runs, or like harder aerobically, but there's like no impact is there from it on the climbs. You know, you're going like
Yeah.
fairly slow, but you just get. I find it gets you really fit. I think like this is one of the best places I've ever been for training. I think the roads on the bike are really good as well. Like, what did you think? Did you enjoy the cycling out here?
I think the cycling is awesome around Font Romeu. We still got the KOM around the flat bit around the lake. At what speed again?
I'm gonna have a crack at that, mate, to try and get it, because you were a little fucking shark the last time. Like you knew where the finish was, and you pretended you
There's
didn't.
nothing got to do with a shark.
Like,
There's just sometimes
yeah.
you need to admit that someone else is better on a day.
You like Tom Decker was not impressed when you went sprinting around us. He was not impressed, mate. Like he goes, if he had that much fucking left, he should have done some work. You don't go sprinting like that at the end. You were
Thomas
sprinting
Dekker
like you
didn't
were
even
going
do a
for...
single turn. It was me and you, and we were going down for the last seconds. And I thought, like, all right, Joe is failing.
I'll quickly
so
get
if
the
he
comp.
can't
I'll
pick
quickly.
up the
I
pace-
wasn't failing. I was going on.
If he can't
And I
pick
was
up the
waiting
pace,
for you-
I'll take one for the team. I'll just take one for the
What,
team
and
because
get your
I
name
have.
on the top of the leaderboard.
I also thought
And
we
I
were
bet
going
you
for 2 laps.
And I bet, whatever. And I bet you sneakily waited until I'd started, like to jump on my wheels. So you
Shut
knew
up.
that
No.
even worst case scenario, if you finished with me, you would have the comp by a second because you
No.
went over the line a second behind.
You know,
Like honestly, guys, if he gets you to go
I've
for a
never.
comp, you're like Mark
You know,
Cavendish, mate. Like I did all the work, and then you pretended you were on the Champs Elysees sprinting for like fucking winning the last stage of the Tour, mate. The way you came past me, I never seen anything like it. I was in awe at how much he
no, that's
saved
just
sitting in the
that is
wheels.
just pure impressive power. We have
by the way,
we went after a lot of comps in our friendship, and I've never slayed you like that.
Have you played poker?
And it paid off. Look at all.
Have you played poker?
No, I never played poker, but
You should consider playing poker, mate, because you've got one hell of a fucking poker face. When you were sat in there, I feel sweat coming down your face, looking like you're on the limit, compared to 20 seconds later where you're sprinting for gold. Like, you should consider playing. You should consider signing up to a poker tournament, mate. They'll never guess what you got.
I can tell you one thing: it did pay off for Challenge Almere.
All right, we're moving on to the next bit, guys, and I've just got a little bit to say about a new sponsor announcement, or should I say a sponsor announcement, not even a new one. CBD Triathlete. I've been using their stuff for ages now, getting on for 2 years. They're really good. They do a tincture, which you can have, which is like the drops that you might have seen some people have. That is great for helping you improve your sleep. I take it pretty much every night, and it definitely makes a big difference in the quality of your sleep. The other product they do is a lotion, which I put on if I've got like aches, pains, muscle soreness, all that kind of thing. Really helps you get rid of the soreness that you've got, especially if you've got like niggles. I think it's great for that. And then the last product they do is the wax. This is, to be honest, my least favourite one. The other two I use a lot. The wax I don't use quite so much, but it's really good for massages. So when I get a massage, I give the massage therapist the wax, and he gives me a massage in it, and I find it's great for that. Maybe if you did a bit of self-massage, it'd be really beneficial. But the lotion and the tincture are my two favourite products. Tom, what's the code for it?
So everyone, if you want to try this stuff and ever try CBD drops to improve your sleep and thus enhance recovery, the code is BIGDOG10.
BIGDOG10. You get 10% off. You can give it a try. They do a pack where you get 3 products, and with the 10% that will work, and the 3 products work out cheaper as well. So you can try all 3, see what you think. Most people that try it love it, and they end up coming back to buy it. So I think if you try it, you'll really like it, and we'd love to hear what you think of it, and hope you give it a go.
And I think one of these, for example, the CBD drops, it's all WADA tested, by the way, so it doesn't show up in an anti-doping test or a German anti-drug police will come up in your house. It's all WADA tested, and I think one of these, that CBD drops, lasts for like a couple of months, 2-3 months, 3 months.
It's not actually WADA tested, mate. You can't get CBD stuff WADA tested, but it is going to be certified sport tested. We just need the third batch to come in, but like you can't get CBD stuff WADA tested. So just to give you the heads up, but it will be Informed Sport tested, which is happening at the moment. We're going through the process of getting it done. But yeah, just for full transparency, we would get it WADA tested, but WADA don't actually do a test for CBD stuff at the moment.
Fair enough. But you've been tested loads of times.
I've been tested loads of times. Right. And there's not. But at the end of the day, like Ari Clow anyway, he was having a joint anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Have you
so,
got a bullshit buster, Joe?
I haven't got a bullshit buster. No, I haven't. I can't think of one.
Have you got an Instagram post of the week?
Yes. Well, it's not really an Instagram post of the week. I would say it's more a review of the week, and I really
the
like
review
that
of the
review,
week.
What you came out with.
Yes,
yeah,
I want to read the review of the week. So this Tuesday morning, I woke up with a new review of the week.
Who was it from? Tell us who it was from first, because I really like their name.
It said this is from Confused Young Adult from the United States. So it said not worth the not so subtle prejudice. Do I say it right? Prejudice?
What didn't you say they've been listening? Didn't they say they've been listening for a year and a
half?
Yeah,
but this is the main title, Joe. We're getting into
what was the main title?
Not worth the not so subtle prejudice. Judas?
Oh, prejudice.
Prejudice. All right. I've been listening for a year and a half, originally to gain the unique professional perspective of triathlon. And while Joe and Tom do generally cover a fair amount of interesting topics, I can't stand the tongue-in-cheek remarks about trans athletes, women, and people that differ.
What I don't understand is, she gives us 2 stars, yet she says she's been listening for a year and a half. Like, if I listen to something and I think it's garbage, I won't go back again, let alone for a year and a half. You've been bloody listening to us for 18 months, mate. Like, you know, like surely we're worth at least 3 an average.
Still 2 out of 5 stars, but I have got a thing or two to say to this very confused young adult from the United States of America. Now, listen up.
Biden supporter.
If you think about trans women, I don't care what you are. Like, if you're a man, a woman, in between, a microwave, you can be whatever you want, you know? You're not. But the only thing we are saying is, we have said in some podcasts, is you can't compete in women's sport because we think it's unfair. And it's not just us, it's also World Athletics. And that we are, and about women, I've had about 100 replies on this review of people saying that would have never heard anything about us slaying about women. And it's called Mockery. It's just a bit of a joke, you know. And if you think that we are or sexist or transphobic or whatever, I think that is probably your short-term or short-minded version of viewing the world, and that you always feel like you've been bullied and all that. Now, everything you say is meant as bullying, you know. Sometimes it, just like religion, if you can't make a joke about certain topics as a joke, as long as it's not bullying, things get scary. Remember Charlie Hebdo? You can't make a joke about something and then Charlie Hebdo.
Who's he?
Google that, mate. It's a thing that went down in France. You don't remember?
No.
So it's a French satire paper, and they made a drawing of the Prophet of Muhammad, like a funny one, and then someone came out around the office and killed like a shitload of people with a gun.
Seriously, bloody hell. One thing I would say as well is she gave us 2 stars, which, like, the minimum pass rate at university, well, certainly in England, is 40%. So if that's our worst, mate, we still passed. We got 40%, didn't we? 2 out of 5. Yeah. So, like, at the end of the day, we didn't get a fail. Like, I
just think it's scary that so many people always feel offended. I feel offended. I feel attacked. You're mean. You just got to take a joke sometimes, right? You got to take a joke.
And at the end of the day, it's not like we dropped her on the bike. I mean, I'd be more offended if someone dropped me on the bike. Like, that would be worse, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Like, that's more
Yeah.
offence, isn't it? Especially if they say, what's more offensive is when people tell you it's an easy ride and they bait you and then they start smashing it up a climb. And then you're like, I thought this was an easy ride. Like, you can get offended at that, but come on, like, what we're saying is child's play. Like, don't worry.
Yes, absolutely kids play. Absolutely kids play. And if there's one thing that I don't like, it is hate, discrimination, hate on women, sexism.
You pride yourself, don't you? You pride yourself on doing a lot for women. Like,
mate,
you've done
this
stuff for
Saturday,
breast charities,
the Gay
haven't you?
Pride is in Amsterdam this Saturday, and I am gonna be part of it. The LAGBHQ plus community, definitely. I'm not shitting you. I'm honestly going there.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Just have a little look.
Oh, right. That was in Norwich the other week.
Honestly, if you think that we, I just think it's absolutely crazy that they, some people are just complete. I honestly think this is a very, very confused young adult that's just very angry behind his keyboard.
At least she admits that she's confused. So, like, she's not hiding it, is she?
Or a he, we don't even know, or a them. You don't know. We don't know what it is, but definitely
you're either
confused.
born, mate. You're either born a male or a woman,
But
aren't you?
we are so sorry that we might have offended someone. Anyway, Joe, bullshit buster. I've got
Bullshit
a massive
buster.
bullshit buster.
Good job we moved on, mate. We don't want to get cancelled again, do we?
Cancel for what?
You know what it's like. I
A
don't
really
know.
good friend of mine is gay and is black. That counts as two. My mother is married to a woman. I've got a really good girlfriend that does trans surgeon. She turns women or a man into like something else. So please don't ever come with me with bullshit like that. Absolute fucking snakes.
You are ticking boxes, mate. Like, no one can
I
take
am
you
ticking
down.
boxes. No, but people that come up with, oh, you're not open minded. Like, oh, I wipe
Maybe
the
you
floor
can
with that kind of scumbags.
Maybe you can tick some of the boxes for me, because I haven't really got any of them to fall back on. So, like,
Mate, I'll tick them for you.
Okay,
You've
like
got
I say,
techno and the pensioners. Just stay on the farmhouse in Norwich.
I do a lot.
I'll
I do care in the community. I go into old people's home and I take the old people out on bike rides and run in. So don't say
Mate,
that I don't do anything for the community. I've
I'll
got
wear
more pensioners that are training partners than bloody. I go to the local nursing home, mate, and take them all out. Like, without me, they wouldn't get to see the countryside. They're coming on bike rides when I go running. Powerful pensioners, fit as a fiddle, mate. Like, he ain't gonna go 6 feet under.
this
anytime
weekend
soon,
during the International Gay Pride in Amsterdam, I'll wear the Triathlon Mockery shirt and a thong, and I'll represent them. Anyway, I want to go over to the bullshit buster. Now, I just saw this coming by on the internet, and I'm very, very curious what your thoughts are on this. It's a running brand. It's called On Running. They're coming out with a new shoe. You can buy the shoe. Well, actually, you can't buy the shoe because you're not going to own it. You're basically getting a subscription on a shoe. You're paying a monthly subscription, 30 euros a month. It's just like a...
30 euros a month?
30 euros a month, and you get like a pair of shoes. Now, these shoes are made out of beans. It's a recyclable product. Well, I think is good, right? Because there's a lot of products going to waste. You can recycle it. It's made out of like beans. But then, they make it sound like it's very good for the environment and blah, blah. But this is all massively financially driven. So I went into like the terms and conditions of the contract. So when you want to sign off with one of these shoes, you sign up for a subscription, and you need to get a minimum of 6 months that you pay for these shoes. If the shoes are worn out, you can send them back and you get new shoes. So that's what they mean with the recyclable shoes. So you don't get all these waste that you need to end up in environment and blah, blah, blah. Now, you can only do this twice a year. So you're paying 30 euros a month, and you end up paying 360 euros or pounds per year for basically 2 pairs of shoes that you need to send back you don't own. If you don't send the shoes back within the period of 30 days, so if you want new shoes or you want to terminate the contract, if you don't send it back within the period of 30 days, you need to pay 100 euros. You need to subscribe for at least 6 months. So basically, €180. You may return the product only after a certain time, after a certain distance, or where conditions is met. So if the shoes are absolutely completely fucked, but you can only exchange them twice a year. If you want to exchange
Once a year,
them,
do you mean? Because you only get 2 shoes. You can't do it twice, can you? You don't get 3 pairs of shoes.
no, you get 1 pair of shoe, and if they're worn out, you want new one. You need to fill out a form, send the shoes back, and you get new ones.
Yeah. So you only get like 2 shoes to last for a
But
year.
you need
then,
to
don't you?
form out. You need to fill out a form, an extensive form, if you want to get a new pair of shoes. Well, you need to fill out a form. So basically, this is all based on gym subscriptions, sleeping, other subscriptions. You're paying €360 a year for 2 pairs of shoes that you're going to use for running and all that, but you never own anything. So you can't, after I wore my shoes, either I'm giving them to friends because you always can use them for a little bit,
Yeah.
or I would send them to Africa because someone can use it over there, but you never own it. It's crazy, isn't it? For €400 almost a year.
But that's a rip-off because the top shoes, like super shoes, are like 200 and something quid, aren't they? But normally training shoes, I think even like for like the Hoka ones, I think they range from like 120 to 150 quid, something like that. But you might be able to get like an older model for cheaper. So I don't understand why you would do that. Like you could just buy a new pair of shoes and it would be cheaper than that. Like, does it say what shoe it is they give you for the on one?
It's
Like
a new
race
shoe
or not?
It's a new shoe.
So it's not even a super shoe. Like it's just a training.
No,
shoe
it's
then.
this shoe made out of
Well, that's a
beans,
rip-off,
but they
right?
say it's a good running shoe.
Out of beans. Well, I'd rather just have a good running shoe. I don't want a shoe made out of chickpeas or beans or whatever. Like, I want something that's not going to get me injured. Like, bloody baked beans aren't going to protect your knees, are they? Flipping neck. Like, whatever next. Like, a shoe made out of daisies. Like, yeah,
Mate,
like, that's not
a
for me.
Danish-
I'd buy a normal running shoe.
A Danish politician once said, "You own nothing, and you will be happy." That's basically where it's going to, especially in Amsterdam. People nowadays have a subscription on bikes. They have a subscription on washing machines. They're gonna have a subscription on, for example, an iPhone. Basically, they have it. Or you're gonna have a subscription on your shoes. It's absolutely nuts. Because at the end of the day, exactly, you don't own anything. These contracts have got you by the balls. And if you don't send the shoes back within 30 days, you know how that goes. Maybe it ends up in the postal. People like you forget to send it back. You get charged €100. Yeah, you definitely would. You get charged €100. So it's absolutely crazy, mate.
Yeah. I'd be totally screwed. Like, I'd end up paying €460 and I wouldn't even I'd still be on the same pair of shoes because I would forget to send them back and everything. That would be a terrible decision for me to do.
Yeah.
Right.
What I would think would be a better concept if they, as a brand, wanted to limit the amount of clothing and all that that people throw away, so over-consuming. I would say sell the shoes for example, for €160, and after you wore them out, you can send them back and maybe get €20 back, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, anyway, that's the was that the Instagram post of the week or was that the bullshit buster? I can't remember what it was.
That was the bullshit buster, Jody. Yeah.
That was the bullshit buster. So yeah, Tom's not happy with that. I'm not probably happy because I'll end up spending nearly €500 and I'll still be on the same pair of shoes. So yeah, it's just not worth it. And the shoe's made out of baked beans, so if you want your knees to go pop, then yeah, give it a go. If you want some proper shoes, then check out a normal website and just buy them.
Alrighty, for now, thanks for
sponsorship.
listening, everyone. Don't forget, if you wanna have a little look into these CBD products, have a little look on cbdtriathlete.co.uk. Just put it in Google, CBD Triathlete. Big Dog 10 gives you 10% off. Thanks for listening, everyone. We love you, and also Confused Young Adult, we love you too. For any other,
we love you.
Yeah, for any other confused people out there, there's always room for a chat. If you're in trouble, I've been depressed. It helps to talk about things, get the word out there, and there's always people that love you. And if you don't like to listen, tune out. All right, see you later, mate. Good luck with training.
Confused Young Adult, we love you.